Coming up tonight, the world's finest electrical socket gets an update. We explore RCD issues in solar panel installations. eFIXX found a new way to strip wires. Middle-aged men take on the Electricians challenge. And I reveal why your name could be costing your business.
Welcome to our fortnightly live stream here on Facebook and on YouTube, when we explore the topic of the world's best socket just got better. And I see in the comments already we've got somebody in from Australia, so we'd like those comments from all around the world, but we won't reveal at the minute when we surveyed possibly a UK audience which is the best plug out there, Gordon.
Would it? Well, yeah, I mean, I think the thumbnail might give it away, foregone conclusion, obviously. But also, a little bit later in the show, I will reveal what I think is the world's most expensive 3-pin plug.
Okay, so we'll be looking in Gordon's house at the socket outlets he's got within his dwelling. We've also got what I think is possibly the very best of Rick's tool time. And you got a very tiny snippet there in the intro, and that's a wonderful thing to stay on for it. Now, you want to get your comments in because you want to be in our register at the end of the show, and those comments will put your name onto that register and you'll be shouted out somewhere in the show. However, it might be that you're not watching this live, you're watching it on catch-up, Gordon, and it's the comments from people who do it on catch-up that can drive future live streams forward. And with that in mind, what are our guests in the green room that are going to drive us forward for the next hour and a half?
Let's have a look. We have got Nick Hayler from BEAMA and Kieran Jenkins from Proteus. Look at that, looking very nervous there. And,
I can just see Harry Hill and his mate. Okay, that's what I got a whiff of.
Yep.
Anyone who's been following us on social media this day, and especially down Mastavs, may have seen our Harry Hill friend.
He is, yeah, hopefully. Well, I think there's a few comedy moments coming up, Gary.
Okay, well, we'll see that one. Obviously, we go for their race war, won't we? And that'll be up in a few minutes. Well, I've got a change of notes down here, young man. Before we get into what you thought we were going to talk about, I'm going to let you have your moment in the sun.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so just let me, So we've heard for a while now, Gordon, maybe a couple of years or more, maybe approaching 3 years, that you'd got the wrong meter installed when you had your economy 7 meter removed to try and get a smart meter, and then you've been battling against the ombudsman and you've taken people to court, and finally last week you got your moment. So can you please regale your wonderful story and get it back to me?
It has been going on for 3 years trying to get my smart meter taken out and the economy 7 back.
Okay.
And last week,
yes,
was the big day.
Good.
Yeah, the octopus. We got the appointment in.
Yep.
Yeah, it was ready. Friday afternoon, I said I'm working from home. Yeah, smart meter's getting changed. 4:45, rang up, cancelled the appointment.
Oh, what are the chances, eh? So it's the saga continues. You're allegedly getting it done when?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, another afternoon off work. Okay,
so
yes, it's an ongoing story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the gift that just keeps on giving for everybody else.
Absolutely. And like the 13 amp socket is the gift that keeps on giving. Okay, so where do you want to start, Gordon? You've got this all planned out for me. It's an easy day for me.
We thought BEAMA coming in, we're going to talk about the updates to the world's finest socket, and obviously, but I thought I'd best just confirm that with the audience to see we're going there. So I put a little poll out on YouTube yesterday, just gave it a day, did it fairly, put it on in sort of the middle of the day to give everyone in the world a chance to clip in, and then I've just got the poll results now. So
let's have a look at our unbiased poll.
Obviously, there's the winner, but we knew that before we started. But just to confirm that, you know, this is what the eFIXX views did. It was just over 5,800 votes when I clipped it at lunchtime. I've just had a look now. It's up to 6,000. Slipped back a little bit, but still more than half the world basically think that the UK socket is the best. You know, it's got a bit of attempt to come in from a European imposter.
Yeah.
And look at the US and then all those other ones in the world. Although there are some Australians out there, but they haven't got enough people in the country to fight for it. Although I do believe they use a variant of that in China. Shame you can't get YouTube there.
Okay, all right, okay. It's got a bit of a whiff though, isn't it? We perhaps interviewed people in the library to find out whether they like reading books though, doesn't it? So maybe a bit biased there on that.
Well, we'll see, but loads of comments came in, so that sent me down a bit of a wormhole of the world's sockets, yeah?
Okay.
Now, people got to remember, we put on there the UK socket, yeah? But it's not really the UK socket.
Okay, this is news to me. What's happening here?
We'll get to it.
Recognise that.
This is the one. Here's what a few, obviously, electrical outlets are one of the few good things to come from the UK.
Oh. And, I don't think that's somebody from the UK then, do you think?
Well, exactly, someone chipping in, obviously.
Giant whiff.
And UK, by far, one of the safest sockets you can ever use.
Unless you tread on them.
Unless you, well, there's that, but it's a security device, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then this is actually where the UK socket is used in the world. Or should I say the BS1363. So the letter G indicates a UK socket is used in that country. So, you know, this is safe territory to go on holiday. These are places where you don't need to worry about getting that adapter at an overpriced WH Smith on the way as you get on the plane.
I'm just saying safe place. I see a rack there, just jumps out in the middle there. So not necessarily your Judith Chalmers of holiday locations that maybe the Gordon Routledge of the electrical industry is going to be visiting. There's some spicy little locations out. Now, because I'm looking for the letter G, and obviously I'm a long way away with my glasses, are they all in the G?
Well, some countries like to adopt a mix of things. As you know, things have changed. For example, some of them we left obviously former territories of the British Empire. I think we left a little reminder there, a little 3-pin socket, and yeah, people sort of captured on. But then other things may have blended in there. So you know, if you go to the Maldives, you can use almost anything. You know, but look at the people in Uganda holding it up there, keeping just the type G in there. And I think Yemen's a bit of a trouble. You don't want to go there at the moment either. Obviously, Ireland, Kenya. Cyprus, the Gambia. There you go. So that's but yeah, I mean that's a cracking list of countries, and I think that's clearly a reason why this is the world's finest electrical socket.
No, because you went straight for the Maldives. Yeah, most of the viewers probably haven't stepped foot on those white sandy beaches or gone looking for
Now,
turtles.
if everyone looks back, we did do a video from Mauritius where I did find the everything socket that we'll come on to, but let's just dip into that. Let's have a look at the world map. So these are your different sockets from around the world.
Did you put that together? That's a great slide.
No, I didn't actually. So Curtis, I'll get to where these come from. A little hint in the corner there, somewhere you can check out a little bit later. I couldn't take the credit for that one. Moving on, so the Americans, obviously our friends across the American. So someone straight up there, as an American, we can all agree that our receptacles are garbage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the first bit. Obviously they call sockets receptacles over there.
Yeah.
Just that's one there. And our obsessive use of Y nuts is ridiculous, which we would agree with as well, but we're not going there tonight. Yeah, we're sticking on sockets. But obviously some people are like those sockets. I couldn't believe they handle 20 amps. But it's used for the and there's something about, I don't know, 120 volt to ground service.
These are all foreign words.
Foreign words.
But you've got to look at that socket out there, and you've got to admire the fact it's a face smiling back at you or groaning at you as it comes in. I know they tend to switch them around a bit, so you can have two looking things.
Well, someone's chipped in according to code, and you know we always get to that video that's upside down.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I've seen them the other way. So.
But it won't fail in inspection.
No, it won't.
I've always wondered that because the Edward Scissorhands, who I popped to in town to get my hair cut, his sockets are upside down. I think that was just the joiner's fault. Well, who did it? Was it the joiner or was it the electrician? Who put the socket too close to the bench?
Oh, right, so he's rotating around. Nothing wrong with that.
So moving swiftly on, we wanted the world of Europe. Now, of course, everyone thinks the Schuko plug, as it's known, is the European plug. It's not. It started out as a German thing, really. So this is really the German socket.
Okay.
And obviously we know in Europe everyone likes to agree on everything and standardise things until it comes to sockets, that is. So a lot of people love the Schuko socket. A lot of people, you know, still amused by our 32 amp
and just a quick one for it. That's 2 pins, and then the top and bottom pins that we can just see poking out. Is that the connection for the protective conductor?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Most people call that earth.
Yeah, ground.
Ground if you're in America. And 2 little location pins at the back. But it's not polarised, so you can put it in upside down.
Oh, right, good. So your hairdresser would love it.
Yeah, that old yokel's tale about making the centre of Edison screw light fittings, the line conductor, falls apart when you turn it around.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah,
so,
I like that one.
So, don't try that one out. And then we move on to the rest of Europe. Clearly, there's a lot of people, there's the, hold on.
Smiley faces with that, that's all I can see. No, what you're doing.
There you go. So that's the Denmark socket. Who wouldn't like a socket that smiles at them? Italy's still got their nice, sleek, Italian designed, all in line, 3-pin. And the French one, it's always the French we like to do the earth pin that sticks out from the socket.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this whiff of Europe's all together and European standardisation and European norms, apart from the socket outlet.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Should have adapted.
Should have taken out.
Imagine that.
And changed the side of the road you're driving on at the same time.
Well, we're not necessarily with them now, mate. So I don't think they're that bothered.
No, I think it is. And then obviously some people chopped in from a place like India and obviously Australia as well. But the interesting in India, they live in a previous version of a British standard. The 15 amp BS546 is still prevalent over there.
Okay. Well,
so.
Okay. So a bit of everything, I would suggest. A bit of everything.
Bit of everything. And obviously people in Australia trying to say those words. No nanny state telling you what to do, safe and flexible. And apparently the advantage of the Australian socket is you can pull out an extension lead when you're at least 20 metres away.
Oh, right, just give it a quick flick and it's
like
out and disconnected.
Yeah.
I like it, I like their thinking. I like also the fact that none of the insects that I bump into on a regular basis while I'm just moving around my normal working or private environment actually will kill me.
Yeah.
So that's the drawback in Australia, I would suggest.
Yeah, that's probably why I got small socket. And then we move on. A lot of people...
What's this?
This is the Swiss socket.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there you go. So this is the Swiss socket, which interestingly led to a development of another socket. Yeah, so this is the Swiss Type J.
Okay.
And a lot of people fighting for that. A lot of Swiss people passionate about the socket, which you think looks like this one, but it's not. This is what the IEC came up with when they thought we should have a world standard. Now, I'm not going on about the one on the right-hand side. This is the official standard socket, the IEC 6096.
And did anyone adopt that?
Brazil.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's the most popular of the choices.
And South Africa.
Okay.
But clearly, a lot of people in South Africa still stick to that old 15 amp version. So
yes.
somebody, some cunning manufacturers come up with the idea of just bundling them all into one.
Well, I think that's not necessarily what you could bundle all into one, but maybe we're coming back to that a little bit later.
No, it's there.
Oh, is it there?
So
Look at that.
This is obviously the Chinese solved the problem that everyone has in the world and created basically a socket that you can put anything into, including your fingers.
Yes, yeah, look at that. So that accommodates everything, doesn't it? I think pretty much. And that's the one you had a problem with on holiday, where the lovely Caroline was blow drying her hair and trying to set fire to the actual bathroom. I think you were in as well.
Yeah, it melted the pins on the British 1363 plug.
Yeah, and I think the socket was located very close to the sink, but that's probably a conversation for a different day, isn't it, where we locate our sockets compared to our friends in Europe.
Yeah, and you can get these on Amazon.
Okay.
I'm led to believe.
Oh, okay. I suppose the Australian one's good, though, because if you happen to be falling towards a water source, if you manage to flick the lead enough, you may be able to get it disconnected before you send yourself into an electrocution.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Okay, so this sets the scene. Okay.
Yeah. Well, just as a last slide, just if anyone is interested, the world of plugs and sockets, a lot of the information you can find on the Digital Museum of Plugs and Sockets, which is online. I have put a link in the description. And you can see some classics from your day back there, Gary. Plenty of Bakelite on there for you to enjoy.
Okay.
So,
I've got a little bit more respect for our audience. Obviously, we're not going anywhere near that link, and we've got a QR code associated with it as well, so we'll see how many times people do click that link. I think our viewers are beyond the museums, okay, and of plugs and sockets, Gordon. Maybe it's something... You've been to the Tinned
Fish Museum.
Yes, so have you been to that one as well?
I haven't. No, this is online, but actually the guy who does it is is Oud, right, which is a strange name, but he is based in the Netherlands.
Okay.
I did try and visit him, but he's getting on a bit in years, a bit worried about COVID back at the time. But perhaps I'll have to pick that up on a trip, Gary.
The Alan Wicker of eFIXX. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you'll be
pop in and see
yeah.
what's going on with Oud there, and just see what. Take some samples along. We've got some aging relics we can take in there.
Yeah, brilliant. And we'd like to say that tonight's show is in association with Proteus, and that brings us to one of our guests, doesn't it, that is representing Proteus as well as BEAMA. Is it the time to bring them in, Gordon?
Well, it is, Gary. I mean, yes, if we're doing plugs and sockets, we do need some experts in this area. We can delve into regulations, things like that. And some say after today's performance, they should also be in a museum.
Yes, yeah. and I'd like to say maybe the socket part of it might not be a specialism when it comes to wiring it.
Well, we'll have to see. But please welcome our guests, Nick Hayler from BEAMA and Kieran Jenkins from Proteus.
Right, and they come. Look at these. The matching wardrobes almost. Yeah, look at this. No one told me to wear white shirts tonight, did they? Right. Okay, brilliant. So thank you ever so much for joining us. Thank you for coming in, Harry. So we're off and running. I'm not good with names. Always get them wrong, don't I? I've murdered your name most of the today, haven't I, Nick? So shall we start with you, Nick? You've got approximately 60 seconds to get nice and comfortable with yourself and tell us all about yourself. And then obviously we'll move over to Kieran next. So come on in, Nick.
Well, thank you very much. My name's Nick Hayler. I work for BEAMA as Director of Member Services and also Head of Building Electrical Systems. Chartered engineer with 30 years experience in the electrical sector.
Oh, okay. That was quick, wasn't it? Okay.
Oh,
yeah, brilliant.
Don't want to overstay my time. I went the apprenticeship route.
Okay.
I know it's National Apprenticeship Week. I went the apprenticeship route. Both my sons did the same, and both successful engineers in their own right too. Fully supportive of the apprenticeship side of things.
Family watching tonight, are they?
So I'm sure they are all watching tonight, yes.
Very nice.
Okay. Kieran, tell us all about yourself in about 60 seconds.
Yeah, Kieran Jenkins, Senior Business Manager at Proteus Switchgear and M2 Wiring Accessories. I've been with that business now for the best part of 27 years, nearly. Married, 3 boys, very active. So outside of work, most of my time is spent with either swimming pools or drum lessons or tennis courts or rugby clubs, so pretty much. But yeah, did a industrial product design degree at Coventry University. Lucky to get a placement with the business that I'm at now. And they offered me a full-time job when I finished my degree, so here I am today.
Yeah, it's a long time to be somewhere. So
it is, yeah.
I'm not saying that's a good thing.
It's like, and it's always like, and I've ended up here.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, we'll see.
Very good.
We'll see, won't we? So, of course, you've come in. We've got you reasonably comfortable. Now, one of you, Nick, sort of put out onto social media, okay, one of us, didn't they, Nick?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, one of us put out on social media sort of suggesting that this is going to be a bit of a cakewalk and under 4 minutes. And would you suggest to me that that's putting your block on the chopper, okay,
I
and
would.
having a go? And is it something you did?
No, I wasn't that brave.
No, you wasn't that brave, were you? But Kieran, you like to take to LinkedIn to suggest that you're going to crush the race, well?
Yeah, maybe in hindsight, a bit of a mistake. So,
Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah, well, we will see, won't we? Because it will be coming up in a minute, Gordon.
it is, and it's time for everybody to join in at home because you get to gamble on the times between Kieran and Nick. So if you think Nick is the fastest, you put Nick and 4 minutes and 6. Yep. If you didn't, I'm getting it wrong. Kieran, sorry. You've got me. He's doing the names wrong. Yeah, sorry. It's all right. I'm pointing the wrong people here, Gary.
Oh, okay, right. And I'll go blame for it.
Yeah, so it's either Nick in 10 hours 56 or Kieran in 4 minutes and 6 under outrageous time. So just put that in the comments. People already got it in there. We've got Nick in with an early time.
Yep.
And yeah, we have got someone in from Brazil, so welcome to that as well. So there you go.
Yeah,
Right. Fantastic international socket adoption. there.
Okay, so for me, this looks like this could be, regardless of backgrounds, it looked like it could be close. Okay, we don't actually know the times, and we never do until we actually stick them on the board. Do you know where the times are for location?
No.
So let's hope Rick's left them for you.
I'm blind today because I was out in the car park doing some other stuff, and I didn't get to see the challenge. So I'm as excited as everybody at home to see this. There's plenty of times coming in, some regulars chipping in. Oh, some 17 minutes 17.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Yes, the wife support again. Isn't it? So we're ready. We're going in there. Remember, if you do happen to get the fastest time, you will be given the right to use the burner phone later on. So make sure that we don't abuse that right in order to ring in to give us your details, because we're all over the postal system now. We've got Jenny on the burner phone, aren't we?
But we'll just give people a while longer to bring the times in. While we're doing that, we'll just remind people about the 30 under 30 from the winners from previous years.
Having a program like this just really makes you feel like you're set apart. It makes you feel valued within the industry, which is great.
Proven that we can do it. The fact that I am an apprentice and I am young and a woman, it's certainly taken away from that stereotype.
The recognition is good motivation for young people to try and strive for better.
Good to have stuff like this so people can put on their CV and it shows them that they are a good electrician.
Had a lot of interest from new customers. Raises your individual profile of the person who wins the award and the company they work for.
I've become a lot more visible. There's been lots more traffic on my LinkedIn. It's giving people the recognition people might not have got otherwise.
If you're a third electrician, it's a really good credential to have.
If you do put in hard work, you do get recognition for it. Yeah, I was really happy and my boss was really happy as well.
It raises awareness of your talents in the industry and get yourself out there.
And all those electricians we saw there were once outstanding apprentices, which links nicely to the National Apprenticeship Week. And we've now gone on and recognised them actually as electricians within our industry. And it's a fabulous experience, isn't it? Just to nominate some. Have you nominated anyone this year?
Yes, I have actually.
I've nominated.
Travels, I've spotted a few people. Yeah, we've got until the 29th of February, but get their entries in. Easiest way to win it is actually enter.
Yeah, it is. You can enter yourself, so if you think that somebody else won't enter for you, it will just be a slightly different process if you get through to the next stage. And it is a wonderful thing. I've nominated 2 people and I'm really excited that I'd like to think that maybe they'd get through hopefully to at least the last 75, and I'll know that. They'll never know I've nominated them, which is also quite nice. It takes you about 5 minutes, and I reckon it can change someone's life maybe for the next 5 years. And imagine having that on your LinkedIn profile, that you were one of the 30 under 30s for 2024. Come on, folks, we can get out there and nominate these people. We're celebrating apprentices. Let's celebrate former apprentices now, world-class electricians in our industry.
And I just noticed R. Davis in the comments actually, and Ryan will make a special guest appearance later on in the show.
Oh, right, okay.
So we'll check that. But I guess now it is time to cross us to the challenge. I'm excited about this. Don't know who's going first.
No, neither do I.
Right, we're ready.
Here we go. Okay, who's going to be up first? Is it going to be Harry Hill? It's Harry. No,
it's Harry's brother.
Oh, it's the haircut, and it's Nick's up.
So he's getting in with an early twist before taking the front off the socket.
Good.
Oops! Oh no. This is tricky. Now you're holding the wires and the screwdriver at the same time.
Got a little excited.
It says we can't multifunction.
Does look a little bit Dave Batista-ish to me for those people that may have been in the wrestling industry for a while. So you look at his head, this looks like this is Dave Batista.
Right, we're doing this in an interesting way. We've done that.
Oh, hello. Just get a little bit of encouragement.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's encouragement or not.
Here we go. First time. Good tip from me. That was good.
Yeah.
Right, round the Lewden loop and into the Lewden consumer unit for our final connections. Obviously, we're using the wonderful Doncaster cables here that whip off the reels and are super easy to strip. What tool are you going to use to strip it? Your side cutter, man? Oh, we're out with the combination wire strippers there in order to go. Right, here we go. So, breaker number 6, you're going in for. You're up and down like you... Oh, no. Oh, no. Yay! Remo! Fantastic. Oh, and now we can't see you in the face, guys. Look how tall you are. Oh, my word. It's the BFG needs a step. Okay, so in we go. So,
to be sure.
top concentration on the face, Dave Batista.
There,
it does. It's,
oh, look at that, having a good smile there.
I reckon that's got a whiff of his top trumps card there. And he had a decent curry as well. Unfortunately, Kieran didn't. So it's going to be one... half Ramo. Half Ramo as well. We're getting a full...
It's getting comfortable, you see.
Yeah, look at...
I totally forgot about that camera in my face. I was doing this, thankfully.
On those cables.
It's not a bad face to look at, though, is it? Here we go. So back down on our knees.
Back down.
Electrical background. So we've had a go at sockets before, have we? We had a bit of DIY in there, have we, Nick?
BEAMA, Busman's Holiday.
Yeah.
DIY.
I'm not unfamiliar with it. No, my son had, my oldest son, had probably ribbed me for that. He's far better than I am, but.
That tool is good, isn't it? That stripping tool.
That was good to use. Yeah, I wanted to go for the other option with the. Obviously, I use a fly lead, but I wasn't confident enough to take the installation out part way.
Right. Even though I demoed it.
You did demo it, but
yeah.
I would have needed practice for that.
Get that nice and tight.
Down on the wedding proposal. Yeah, these down there. We're only a couple of connections off doing this. Looks a decent time. Wow, you might be hoodwinking us here. What are we going to do now? Something wrong? Okay, yeah, there we go. We managed to change some of the screw heads over. We got a little bit of complaint after the first run, didn't we? A little bit of worn heads. And talking of worn heads, both of you look like your heads have been well worn down to the wood. Okay, yeah. If you want a smooth screw, I've got a smooth head. Yeah, okay. You say your sons do swimming. You're the only one in the family who doesn't need a swimming cap. Is that
yeah, afraid so. Yeah, literally.
All right, here we go.
We didn't have any Duncan Goodhue jokes.
No, we didn't. So in we go. So we got 2 screws away from it. Yeah. This ain't bad. This isn't bad. Have you got anyone that you're worried about? Obviously, you want to beat Kieran first of all.
Yeah, well, Kieran's obviously first target, but my old friend Barry Roberts from Marshall Toughlegs. Got to have Baz on there.
Baz. Right, we've got to roll straight to the next one. Well, we know this one. Way! He's up with the colours. He's up with the colours. Oh, I can't get out. Look at that shot. That was him. Look.
It's Harry.
It's Harry Hill.
It's uncanny.
Oh, it's uncanny.
Genuinely never had that before.
Yes, away with it. You walked in the door and nearly shouted Harry Hill's arrived.
Celebrity burp. Was that what?
Oh, you can't laugh doing
Right,
this.
here
Here we go. That was a good shot. When a cameraman worked this, that's Harry Hill.
Somebody else's consumer unit? Was it?
It was fine. I got away with it, so it was
aware of
okay.
it?
Yeah.
Singed fingertips.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Right, so out we
I must
go.
admit, I had been taking some tips off previous episodes, so.
Right, okay.
That's all right.
Well, let's see. You've got to get under that comment.
Look at it.
You were confident.
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Wow.
Oh.
Straight up round the Lewden loop, into the Lewden consumer unit. Yep, that's the enemy. So in we go. So here we go. So 3 connections away from doing the board. Lots of side cutter man. Oh, that's a whiff of somebody who knows what they're doing. Yeah. Well, maybe not. Let's go down there, sort of wrenching it off. Back down for the
installation.
I want to see
A bit of DIY at home?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
Enjoy it. So.
Yeah. All our electrical audience just die a little bit inside when they hear that. Another person.
Oh, here we go. Having a good chuckle there.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that. That blue conductor seems to have had a bit of a haircut itself as it was going in there, actually. I think that was a bit close to the bone.
You did say you weren't going to energise it, so.
No, that's just, yeah.
Look, the world's softest hands.
Right,
think
here
you
we
might
go.
have to, yeah.
We'll pull that wire back.
Here we go.
Tidiness test.
Yeah. They both had a bit of freakishness.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah,
old
we
time.
I mean, I would give you something that they are new cable reels. That does make it a little tricky. The cable doesn't.
Well, we had no
actually
accidents
wander.
with them, did we? They rolled off a
No,
tree.
it was all right,
No tangling. I said that to him as well. You've been a little bit unlucky,
Because
but
it's slow, Gary.
well, yeah, we'll find that out. But those Doncaster reels just spun off there, didn't they? So
We always say, if it looks slow, it usually is.
but let's go back to the Harry Hill. Look at it. You just wouldn't know, would you? If you've just dove in, you wouldn't know it was him. Have you got a medical background? Were you a doctor formerly? Have you left that one out? And that sort of stuff?
Not at all, I'm afraid. So
He's looking forward to going back to work tomorrow because that's it going to be.
Oh, I'd have posters up everywhere.
What's happening here?
What's it?
We had a few cables come astray, so.
Yours dropped out now.
We lost a line as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah, we lost the line on the earth to the back box.
No.
So it
4 minutes gone.
it was a bad moment, to be fair. So.
that's not good. You must be rejoicing over here, Nick, and you could, yeah.
I'm not saying anything yet. I'm not as brave as Kieran putting up.
Pressure was on. When I said I'd beat Mr. Bridgman, that was.
Well, you got to be under 4 minutes because it's outrageous if you're over 4 minutes. It's a character
on now.
It was, and
yeah.
So you chuckling away in the background there.
Yeah. I was the only one laughing.
socket wouldn't fit. Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, in and out. Your run was pretty slick. I'm just hoping those times.
So I'm hoping that reflects my time reflects that.
Right. So first, I think looking at that, that's gonna be quite close. So I couldn't pick a winner there.
Well, I mean, okay, let's have a look across at the board. You've already mentioned Barry, so Barry is where's Barry now? He's
right, that is
6 minutes and 6. So you want to beat Barry? Is that a target? You used to work together.
No, we don't work together. I worked with Barry in my previous company, but he's definitely a target on the list.
And you had 4 minutes, sub 4 minutes in Kieran. So
do you feel that was a little bit ambitious?
No, I do, yeah.
I mean, I must.
In hindsight, I probably wouldn't have.
I think that was suggested to you on LinkedIn that you will not get under 4 minutes.
Neil Bridgman had it down there. Gary said, he will not do it in under 4 minutes 6. Repeat, you will not. So you put it in twice.
Okay. So we're going to start with then. That's got a whiff for somebody else starting with this.
Well, well, Kieran, you. Good news, you are in the 4 minutes territory. You're not up here on 4 minutes. We're not in here in 4 minutes. Where we're looking here. So you did this in. Let's have a look. Do you like electrical wholesalers? Are they good fans?
Yeah, some of them are.
Yeah, some of them are. Well, there we go. Well, it's good because you're 1 second faster than one. At Callum Jackson across at Express Electrical, you did this in 4 minutes 41.
41, okay.
Which is commendable, actually, because this is electrician territory here on the whole. So Lee Brody,
I'll take that. Thank you.
That's a good effort.
Yeah.
So, would you like to say anything to the camera to speak to Neil Bridgman from the heart? No.
Apologies, Neil. Yeah, it was in hindsight something I shouldn't have said. So.
Yeah.
And it's outrageous to be over 4 minutes according to him. So that always bodes well, Nick, for the second person. It tends to be quicker.
That's a good score. I would have been really happy with that. So fair play. Yeah.
Well, you're not going to be happy. You did get the 41. I'll give you that bit. Yeah. And you have actually beaten Barry.
Yes, that do.
Which is a good one.
Barry was Olympically slow.
I'll be on the phone
5 minutes and 41.
Oh, right. A whole minute each.
Wow.
Which is actually just...
A bit higher?
Oh, sorry, hold on. Where am I going here?
Don't cheat me out of it.
Focusing on there. Let's have just above Paul Elcock.
All right, okay. Fastest man with chest hair.
Yeah, and just below last week's winner, the Torpedo.
Oh, right, okay. So, Torpedo was brilliant last week. So, you just beat Kate. Okay, all right, that's good.
I beat Barry. I'm happy with that, and I'll be dropping my line tomorrow.
No worries. Everyone beats Barry, though, don't they? And Barry being, obviously, him and Martin have had many challenges since, haven't they? Maybe they'll bring you along so you can also beat Barry. Okay, as a former employee.
In a live event.
Yeah, it'll be a classic.
And obviously, we've already got a winner in there, so you've got 10 minutes to ring Jenny on the burner phone. So that's just to claim your prize.
Okay.
Jenny's standing by.
Okay, so we'll get the burner phone going, which is great. So again, the number's there that everyone can see. Please don't use that number. We turn it off after the show. So just
show regular. Sergio Fernandez.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Oh, brilliant.
yes.
I'd like to speak to him.
Yeah.
Down in Watford. Okay.
Is he Watford, is he?
I think it was Watford, if I got that right. I want to know whether he's a Luton or a Watford football fan, if either. That would be
and as ever, though, obviously, we've got to clean up after this act.
Oh, no.
Yes, so the slowest person, unfortunately, has to sweep up all the cables and put them in the green cable bin.
That's
Oh, there we go. There's Nick doing a bit of tidying up. Oh, look at that. Quite faster with a brush than you are with a screwdriver. We could safely say
My
that.
family would agree with that.
Not a hairbrush.
Oh, dear.
No, I haven't used one of them for a while. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And don't forget, green cable, the link is in the description. That they're spreading out gradually across the country. Where they get, you said some
Milton Keynes.
They're as far as Milton Keynes now. They drop you one of those green bins off. You put your scrap cable in, and you don't tell obviously everybody where it is because someone might help themselves to it before they get to it. But if green cable get to it before the local man in a white van, you will get cash.
Yeah, and Marcus has said he's down for one, but they haven't come back to him. So that shows you they're in the Northamptonshire area working towards Milton Keynes. That's fantastic, and he's great in it. You know, for all the things that we do in our industry, again, a chance to recycle. Your former employee was massive into recycling and a great supporter of the eFIXX College Connections in Marshall Toughlex as well. So we're up and running. We're all relaxed now. So we're into.
Well, thanks for helping out on that, actually, because the more cable you create, you don't cast the cable, send us the cable, you turn it into scrap, and Nick's
Green
just
cable.
swept it up and put it in the bin, and we get the cash for it.
Green cable, give us cash.
Yeah,
that's it. So it's a win-win. Yeah. Did you not work out that the person swept up come last? Because you said you've been doing your research. So, those people who tell me they've watched it before
I didn't know
that the person. So
I did think, oh, well, that's fair enough. He's let me sweep up.
I said to Rick, didn't I?
Yeah,
Pick someone random, and he's like, I knew it was you, so I just didn't want to feel if it was me. So we're all good. Oh, burner phone. So we're on the burner phones.
Hi, Sergio. Hello, how are you doing? Good, congratulations. I think Gary would like a word with you, actually.
Are we in Watford? Yeah? Costa del Watford, and you sound nothing like your wonderful name, and that's no disrespect to your lovely voice, by the way. And next thing, do you support any football teams? Oh, so you live in Watford and you're a massive Luton Town fan. Oh, I love it, Sergio. That is so nice to hear. My son's also a Luton Town season ticket holder, and I wear orange socks on every single live stream. So that is fantastic news. We'll maybe come on, you Hatters. So let's see if we can stay in the Premiership. So thank you for that, and enjoy your time living in Watford. Okay, thank you very much, Sergio. Yeah, he can't leave his house for about a month, I would suggest, for that one. Bless him. Okay, so no, he doesn't support any football teams, and he doesn't sound anything like his wonderful name. So it's just you expect to have a lovely accent to it. It's just normal bloke from Watford. So fantastic. Right, okay.
And green cables have come to Manchester, so someone's.
We're coming.
We're well into there.
Yeah, we're well on our way down, and it's really good. It's doing your bit, and it's another tick in it. So as you go through that on a business plan, BEAMA.
Yes. Well, hold on, before we get to BEAMA, there's a few other sockets I found, actually, because I think I actually found some of the world's most expensive sockets. Yeah.
World's most expensive sockets. So we're looking at which house? Where in the world? Is this your Malibu one?
So look at these sockets there. Can you see them?
Yes.
Hidden in the tiles there.
Yeah.
So that's a one there. So this is called System 22.
So I'm looking at that socket. Obviously, it could be anywhere in the world according to that letter G. Yeah. Is this an English installation?
No, you can get all sorts. I think this originates from Canada.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but you can have any of the world's flavours of sockets in there and mount them completely flush. So
lovely.
Let's have a look. This is how it works. So the world's most popular socket version, or not the world's finest socket version. This is what it looks like. So there we go. So you do that. A bit of plaster in trim, a bit like a downlight you would do with a trimless downlight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I take it you don't have to wire individual sockets on individual circuits because that's only got one cable in the back. Oh, it's the end of the radial, no doubt. Yeah, okay. Yes.
And here it is. So this is a twin one. Yeah, so just thought I'd put it out to the audience. Any idea how much one of these would set you back if a customer phones up and requests one of them?
So bang it in the comments again. By putting it in the comments now, you have to be quick, so get it in.
Yes,
How much was that socket going to cost, those two little ones that are round? I take it we can buy them in this country. That's why we're
We can
pushing
as
this.
an online shop.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Is it a familiar one or is it a different one?
No, it's direct. Seems to be direct from the manufacturer. There's some great, quite creative how you get USB ones and all sorts of stuff.
All right, okay.
But just while they're coming in, well, we'll get behind in time. And the £55 for the additional extra. So I think that's if you want the plastering version. So this actually costs £235.
Sorry, I thought you said 230 for those two sockets or one?
Yes, for a double socket, yeah.
£235.
Yeah.
How many did you buy?
Well, I haven't treated you yet. So,
yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think they look great.
They look world class. I mean, if I was doing a new area with it, and kitchen especially, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Especially when not in use. Yeah, that's when it looks awful, doesn't it? But 235 quid.
A bit steep, isn't it?
It is a bit steep.
Well, there is a more expensive.
No, I thought that was the one. You're telling me, hang on a second, there's a dearer socket than 235. The diamond encrusted Gordon Routley socket.
Yeah. Now, a few weeks we had Sonos on a few weeks ago talking about high-end audio, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I'm led to believe a big problem with high-end audio is the contact resistance on your 13-amp plug.
No, don't
causes problems.
No, it's the connections for the speakers. That's
no. That's you're not ahead of the game here, Gary. You need to be moving on, thinking outside. Yeah. Where's that interference coming from?
You plug the amp in.
Yeah.
That don't make any difference to the sound.
Well, according to this company, it does, Gary. So this is the Quantum Science QSA red black high-end double socket wall plate that comes in at £1,500.
You want to be VAT registered?
Yeah.
For a twin?
For a twin socket.
Just remind. So, what makes it again? Just tell me the bit that's there. Gold what?
It's all gold plated inside, rhodium contacts. I mean, these might mean things to you, Kieran. I don't know about these. But this is it. This is the quantum.
And you don't even get a switch.
Yeah, you don't get a switch. You don't get a switch. Yeah.
1,500, and it makes no difference to your sound.
Well, apparently it does, Gary.
Well, they can correct me on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got the socket. What do you need to go with it?
Well, you need a plug, but they can't be dear.
Yeah. Let's have a look. So here's the plug that goes with it. So you need the rhodium contacted. So this is the Blue Premium range.
Is that for one?
Designed to be used with high quality audio equipment for optimum power transmission and sound quality. And all the electrical parts, pins, fuse and other internal parts are made from premium quality copper and electroplated with 3 micrometers of rhodium plating.
A fool and his money are easily parted.
Yeah. Is there anything special about that? Do you think you've...
Not that I can see from here, no.
No? Not going for the quantum range?
Oh, we may have a quantum range consumer unit. If we can get £1,500 a unit for it.
Yeah, a special brass bar with plastic cover.
And obviously the missing link in this plug, Gary.
Really?
What's the missing link?
The fuse?
Yeah. So obviously you have to get a fuse for it. And here's the Hi-Fi Tuning UK Gold.
Is that a packet of 10?
That's for one. £46 for a gold-plated fuse.
Well, yeah, I suppose you'd have one for novelty's sake, maybe once, but 46 quid, that's pretty stretching it, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do a cheaper one?
No. I don't think they do. They actually do a more expensive version.
You are joking.
Yep. So
you need to practice some of this stuff because this is coming at me fresh. So you're telling me I can buy a fuse like that, but for more money?
Well, you can go gold or you can go diamond. Yes.
Wow.
So there you go. For £150, you can have that diamond fuse link. Now you see, the rest of the world doesn't get to experience this joy, do they? Unless you're in a G country socket.
Well, I'd be worried because I used to have a packet of 10 of them, little see-through packet. You used to burst the top corner and push them out. Imagine having 10 of those in at a nice chunky 1,500 quid in your toolkit.
Yeah, so that's...
I don't know where you find this stuff from. It's just
all
out there.
Yeah.
It's all online.
It's out there.
Apparently. Yeah, apparently. So are you going to leave a link for our electricians to order those online?
Sure people are searching it now and placing their order.
I bet they are. Shame we haven't got a little cheeky affiliate link because there'll be a few quid coming our way. Wow, that takes a moment to process, doesn't it? Well, yeah. Anyone want to tell me that makes the sound quality that much better? You can tell it for probably two grand you dropped on that? Twin socket and a fuse and a plug?
Yeah, but I think you need to follow this up chain here, Kieran? You know, after that socket, what's feeding it?
I think we do, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need the consumer unit, the devices, yeah.
Yeah.
They all need to be gold-plated.
Yeah, gold-plated bus bar along the bottom from the Quantum range.
Nice.
Yeah. Does someone make a Quantum consumer unit? I could swear to name out.
I don't
Sounds
think
like a
so.
James Bond consumer unit, doesn't it?
I think there's one.
Yeah, Quantum of fuse board.
Could be soon.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's really good. Are we going to get into BEAMA then? Are we going to give our guests a chance to stretch their legs and
So
do the
let's
talking?
have a little
Gordon?
look at BEAMA, and we're going to talk about the socket has been updated apparently. Yeah, so this is
Standard has been updated.
gold fuses as standard.
Can we break the news, folks, for everyone now? So under the new version of BS 1363, they have removed the earth pin, which is an absolute great game changer, isn't it? We've gone 2-pin. Explain the reason behind it, Nick.
I'm just going to check the date on my... No, definitely not one of your...
April 1st jobs. Yeah, so they haven't removed any pins, have we?
No,
They haven't
no,
changed
no,
the design,
no,
have they?
no.
So first off, who are BEAMA? What does BEAMA stand for?
BEAMA doesn't actually... It's not an acronym for anything.
Is it not?
No, it is not.
Make some up in the comments, please. Make some up in the comments.
Yeah, please feel free. BEAMA's UK Trade Association for energy infrastructure and systems. So we cover a wide range of product sectors. I look after the building electrical systems, so circuit protection, cable management, panel building, cutout and feeder pillar, switch socket outlets, etc. So quite a broad range there. We've got electric vehicles, we've got transmission devices. So from the networks perspective, we've got smart metering, we've got smart buildings, we've got a water treatment and HVAC group as well. So a very broad range of low carbon generally technologies within our portfolio. Been around since 1905. And what we're going to come on to is BS 1363, which came out in 1947, which was developed through the war years, and BEAMA had a big part in that. They were involved in the development of that and the inception of the ring circuit as well. So there's a lot of history there.
We've done that one. Yeah, be careful because that gets everyone going. So 1905, Gordon, you were there at the inception of BEAMA. So were you one of the original members?
There with a
Got a photograph of him, with the original crew.
Ooh, we're all on it on this side. We've got the two Muppets on that side of the table tonight, haven't we?
Let's address
Rolled off and Statler sat opposite tonight. We're going to have to deal with this.
So let's address it. So we're going to put it out nice and early because this will probably come in the comments. It's got a, if we go back to 1905 with a hat on and a cigar and a single malt whiskey, it's probably from the outside looking in got a little bit of the old boys club. Okay, that I'm a member of this club and that gives me rights and benefits to push products onto the wiring regulations and therefore make me lots of money. But you can actually, unwrap and distill that argument away with, let's imagine, we got. Let's make it easier, a fuse that we're trying to get, a new design of fuse or something like that comes up, an overcurrent protection device. All those members come together to talk with one voice, is that right?
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's a community, as we like to call it. And in BEAMA, we've got over 250 members. Those are broken down into the various sectors. We have technical committees and management committee meetings. And the technical committee meetings, they work together, as you say, on new product standards. They work on amending product standards, wiring regulations, and anything else that they need to work on. It could be building regulations, and they want to have an input on that as well. But the power is, that, and you'll see some brochures of or guidance of ours later. It's getting a consensus out of a large group of manufacturers to say this is what we all believe in, and that's the one single voice. We also use that single voice for when lobbying government on policy changes and stuff like that. So it gives you a lot more power. For an individual company to try and approach government, to try and approach civil servants is very difficult. But as a trade association, government departments will listen to us.
So rival brands on the shelf in a wholesaler are actually behind the scenes working together for the betterment of the electrical industry and therefore feeding it into JPL 64 and possibly then feeding it into the wiring regulations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've sat on that side of the table. So prior to being with BEAMA, and I've been with BEAMA 3 years this year. Prior to that, I spent 12, 13 years as a technical expert sitting on the various technical committees within BEAMA, working with my peers from other from other manufacturers, and it was a fantastic experience, I must admit.
Okay.
As we like friends in the room, is it? You get in the room and it's I don't like him over there.
No, not like that at all. Things have changed slightly because there's a lot of virtual meetings now, so you don't have so much face-to-face. So that can help speed things on, but it is nice to be face-to-face in a meeting room. Sometimes you don't always agree, but we have to come to a consensus to be able to move forward.
And what's nice is they've kept the smoking jackets and ports and cigar evenings as well, so just to keep with tradition. So we've blown that one out of the water, yes? We're okay. So the collective people, let's do it on the sockets and what's changed then,
Well,
Gordon?
BS36 what happens? People, why do we have to keep changing? We've been making these since 1947, surely we've nailed the spec.
Well, you'd think so. Nothing's perfect. I say 1947, and there's a cycle to product standards. Every so many years, they come up for review, and then if there's anything that needs to be changed, BSI will look at that, and they have a panel. BEAMA are part of that panel. Other parties will be part of that panel as well, and then they develop and work on those standards to improve primarily safety.
Right. And are we right in thinking, because Gordon went through the standards when MK launched their RapidFix twin socket outlet with obviously 3 ports with the levers, and they had to take a 4mm, a 1.5, a 2.5 solid stranded and fine stranded cable, and it seemed it just sort of jumped in there, didn't it, Gordon? It was preparing for the levered socket outlet, the screwless socket outlet. Was that put in when we weren't keeping our eye on it, and it just happened to happen?
I don't know exactly when that in, but you've got to think about innovation as well.
Yeah.
You know, standards, they're there as a minimum requirement when designing a product. But you've got to allow for innovation. We've had a lot of technology come into our sector in the last 10, 20 years, USB devices, circuit protection in those, a whole host of circuitry, and same with circuit protection now. There's smart circuit protection, so you have to have some leeway for that. And there's the ability, when you're part of a group like BEAMA, for example, developing that, and you get a voice to say, we want to do this, and you put the reasons behind, and then that's taken to the committees.
Yeah. Sometimes other people catch you out, because I remember buying one of the first USB sockets with a charger integrated. Yeah. I thought, well, that's a good idea. And I got one in, and you're looking at it going, it's like, when you eased it out from the wall, the socket terminals were the screws were way out from beyond the plastic mould, and you could have just dipped your fingers in there, and if you were a painter and decorator, for instance, and you just left them hanging off the wall, you'd get a nasty...
Product design can jump before standardisation. That is quite common, and that will drive changes.
We only have to say EV, don't we, for that, don't we?
Well,
so, yeah. We've got a message up there from Darren Cranist. I didn't realise he had the special phone.
There you go.
Yeah, look at
He's
that.
traced it back. There you go.
Yeah, that is... thank you, Darren.
Also comes in pink.
It also comes in... We talked about the pink, didn't we?
That
was the old name.
Darren don't know. We know something that Darren don't know. So it's good. So, okay, so over a sherry, we'll come up with a new idea, and then we'll push it forward, is what we've just said there. To distill down your answer into a smaller one. Can we go through what's changed?
Yes, well,
I'm excited.
Have a little look. Well, hold on. Here's the list.
The pin's gone, yeah? Right.
We've got some manufacturers. So this was the people, the IET always say, there's always a list of people involved in the publication, or who's to blame, as they would say, if you don't like the results.
Well, that's the BEAMA members, so that's referring to the BEAMA document that we put out on the changes to BS 1363 that come out in June last year. So that group of companies have all been taken part and came to consensus of what should be in that guidance. But those teams will also be on the technical committees within BEAMA that work on the standard, and then BEAMA are represented by a couple of individuals on BSI panels, or if it's wiring regulations, with JPL panels.
Right. Okay. So that's who got into to do it. And I have left a link to this document in there if you're in. So here's some of the things that I picked up going through it. So, which one do you want to pick there, Gary? You can't read that from here.
Yeah, well, I'll go because this one, it sticks out, doesn't it? So, the got to have 58% copper in it. What was it made of before? Chewing gum? So
it could have been, because it wasn't specified.
So the brass wasn't specified for the percentage of copper.
That's correct. There was nothing like that at all. So it sets a minimum standard again. You know, you could have a Muntz metal 60/40 or something like that, but at least that's a starting point. You know, you're trying to push out cheap, inferior, dangerous product. You've seen that with certain terminals maybe in the past. You scratch
said
away
you're
the surface.
trying to push out. You probably wanted to phrase that you're trying
Not
to
me
push
personally,
out.
but
No, like we are.
Manufacturers, yeah, if you, you know, we talked earlier today about the investment manufacturers. You know, Proteus, we were talking about the investment they put in their internal labs, working with third-party labs, and then you've got your own quality teams. The same with the BEAMA. You know, that's a lot of money that goes in that. And you know, if you don't want inferior product, and we see it a lot on some of these online marketplaces with cheap imported product that's not to spec or standard.
And that's his advice, not from eFIXX. Okay, just to make sure the legal team know that was your words and not mine. Okay, from online retailer with a well-known, yeah. Okay.
Online retailer.
Okay, so that by having that as a standard, you can then effectively rule out a socket outlet that doesn't meet that. Then, whereas before you couldn't, could you?
That standard is used to be able to design, manufacture a product. But a BS 1363 socket and a plug has to be tested by a third-party independent company, a UCAS approved lab. Okay, so they will take the BS 1363 standards, they will interpret that standard and apply the tests accordingly. So most of the changes, well, actually all the changes, and you'll see in this, are for designers, test labs, etc. Not, and there's another one on that sheet which we'll come to in a minute. It's not about the electricians.
And that's not with every product, is it? So you said to us off camera that sometimes you can self-certify for certain things, but not on a 13 amp socket. We don't trust it for some reason.
But the sockets come under the 1994 plug and socket regulations, and in there it quite clearly states that you've got to use an independent approved third party, UCAS approved. Other electrical items come under low voltage directive or the electrical regulations in the UK, and they are self-certified. So CE, UK CA marking, not going to go into that topic tonight, but that they are self-certified.
But if it's a socket, you have to have it independently tested?
It has to be independently tested, yep. And there's only a few approved bodies that can do that, so there should be certain marks on that product. So if anybody is ever unsure, yeah, check with those approved.
All right. Good. Do you struggle with brass? Are you using proper brass?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, we were talking earlier. We use third-party companies, and they'll, you know, like Amatec as an example, use a spectrometer, and they'll give us a certificate with a full breakdown of what constituent materials are in that brass. Mm-hmm. So copper, zinc are the two main ones, but then there could be a selection of other little things in there as well. So, but very small percentages. But in the main, it's, as Nick was saying, it's sort of 60-40 really. Yeah. Copper and zinc.
Yeah. Mm. It's interesting because normally when there's a change, it means there's been a problem somewhere. And it's been.
Let's delve into the others then. Let's find the problem. Let's find it. Where's the problem? It'll be on that list.
So I got excited about this one. Insulation and electric strength test now includes provision for both indicators and incorporated electronics components to be disconnected. Now I thought, we're going to see switches on USB sockets to help electricians with the insulation test.
Purely for testing in the test lab, so that the test lab engineer will have to do exactly as it says in the lab to put it through its type test. That is not that's not a device, an external switch on there. So when you're doing your tests within a domestic property, for example, that is purely just for lab technicians.
Okay. And then when we look at the strength of the switches, we sort of went down. So if we do, is it the top left-hand corner on the thing there? So I can't see it. So new
requirements for actuating force test for double pole switches.
Yeah, so what they're actually doing now is testing independently and the double pole. So it's enhancing the safety. They were only testing the double pole, now it's both single and double pole. So again, it's just only slight tweaks, but these things all help.
Yeah, I just thought they sort of gave you a certain amount of effort for it for certain reasons, because them years ago, I mean, especially the ones you plug down, absolute painful to do. I thought they'd sort of suggested how hard you had to press a switch to get it to go, and that's not right either.
And again, with innovation, you know, we're used to traditionally the rocker type switches, but now you've got actuating buttons as well, push buttons,
smart sockets,
all of those sorts of things. You have to allow for that and include that in. Make sure you've captured that in the standard so it can be tested accordingly.
It's all stuff you don't know, isn't it?
You know what's going on. And then the last one I picked up, the operating frequencies from 50 to 60 hertz now in the scope.
Okay, so yeah, that's increased. Well, there's a range there now. That doesn't affect the way the products perform or anything, but what it does is it allows in non-UK countries where their frequency might be different. So just opens opens up.
You told us under NDA they're going into America and all socket out. Oh, NDA.
I'll give up. I'll give up.
So that's why they got a 60 hertz. That's what you said. They're going into America, Gaz. Yeah, Trump's bringing them in with him. Yeah, okay. So no, they're not.
Not looking for something.
So some tweaks there, but interesting, isn't it? How all these people come together on the first slide to make such, in this case, what looks like very minor changes, but on that product. So when we make a major change and introduce something, I can imagine that's quite a hard process to get through. You know, when we brought AFDDs in, you know, that must have taken many years, I'd imagine, for us to build up to where we needed to get them in.
It can do, and sometimes in a standard or in a regulation, you might add something in. Let's take AFDDs as an example. Yes, it's recommended, but in certain situations, and that may well evolve in the future. We will see how that unfolds. BEAMA have a part in that. BEAMA have, certainly with the revamp regulations, as we said, there's other committees with BSI and the JPL groups and the IET. So BEAMA, along with a wider party, will discuss and debate and agree what's going forward. Same with product standards. We represent BSI. We're BSI's biggest representative on UK standards. So we will take suggestions and ideas to the table. But again, it's dealt with by committee. It's not by one individual saying that's what we're doing. Yeah. One individual company.
Yeah, and I think that's where people get lost. We all do, don't we? It's in Scram Arms. It used to be down the pub. You know, there's myth, rumour, and legend. You know, that people are just trying to push this through because they happen to have that product. So if they can get it in, they can beat the market to it, and therefore there'll be. So you know, use that as an example. There was somebody who got an early AFDD into the market and then made it a single module. But everyone at the same time in that group would have known it was coming. It was just that they obviously reacted or got their product in a position, you know, a little bit faster than most. So it wasn't, you know, one got the upper hand on the other.
That's correct. Yeah.
It's there you go. Incredibly
With
interesting.
that level of work, Gary, that's why the socket is the world's most, you know, the winning socket from across the world. That's why, you know, you can't see this happening in Shkuko land, can you? With everyone trying to, you know, smuggle these things into those, you know, can't even agree on a socket.
We've got the one with the plug combo with a fuse gives you so much flexibility with one format. Yeah. You know, as you showed on there, and with the Italians and other countries, they've got a whole range of different pin sizes and configurations. Prior to that, with the BS546, there was 2, 5 and 15 amp sockets, all slightly different. So in your home, you'd have an array of different socket sizes. So
that's why we left.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The only reason. Yeah.
Well, World War II, we have to thank for the BS1363 plug.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
Wow. Yeah, well, we should have made that part of the peace treaty.
Yeah, absolutely.
The square pinned device.
Yeah, you have to take our socket.
Yeah. But there we go. We didn't do that. But we touched on the top of AFDDs. We're going to come back to after we just pop over to Business Boot Camp this week. So if anyone has plenty of people who use the initials on, let's see what Speed and Joe's been up to.
This week on eFIXX Business Bootcamp, we're exploring if your name could be losing you business. Many electricians opt to use their initials when they decide to venture into self-employment or start their own business. This allows for various possibilities, which for me could be JR Electrics, JR Electrical, JR Electrical Services, or JR Electrical Contractors. While these are all reasonable choices for an electrical business name, it's important to consider that with a vast number of electricians and limited letters available, it's highly likely that someone else has already used your initials. A quick search of Companies House brings up more than 25 different companies with combinations of JR. Note the curious combination of JR, electrical and plastering. Which specialism came first? You're not even safe if you choose to add a third initial, as there are 7 JRB electrical combinations. Why is this a potential problem? Imagine a scenario. Countless hours invested in choosing the perfect logo, painstakingly crafting your van's signage to make it to stand out in the crowd. A potential customer spots your JR electrical van, the name sticks, and they decide they need your electrical expertise. When they return home in the evening, they search for JR electrical on Google. However, they are confronted with an overwhelming array of options for JR electricals. How can they determine which JR is the correct one? You could also receive inquiries for another JR electrical, which might end up wasting your valuable time. The problem becomes even more pronounced when considering that a staggering 75% of Google searches result in clicks on the first 4 search results. The top result alone captures around a third of all clicks. Therefore, if your website does not appear in these search results, you risk being virtually invisible to potential visitors. So the key is to make sure your customers can find you and you stand out from the other JRs. If you operate within specific specific towns or counties, ensure that this is prominently featured on your website and social media accounts. Utilise hashtags from the towns in which you operate. Additionally, if you specialise in specific types of installations, such as EV chargers or agricultural work, make sure to highlight this on your website and social media platforms. Conduct an experiment to observe how customers perceive your business while trying to locate it. Search for your business name on Google and get ready for some surprises. Repeat this process on various internet browsers using private or anonymous mode. Apply the same approach to social networks such as Facebook or Instagram. If you don't like what you see with your online presence, it's worth revisiting your social media profiles, the content on your website, or even considering a listing on Google My Business. Otherwise, you risk remaining unnoticed and invisible in the digital realm. If you're a JR Electrical, let me know your findings. Nevertheless, the situation could be worse. Imagine if you had named yourself GSH Electrical and had to compete with Gary. That's it for this week's eFIXX Business Bootcamp. Tune in next time and we'll explore a word that 50% of electricians forget.
Another fantastic boot camp there from Joe, and leaves us again on a little cliffhanger. So last time out, I didn't know where this one was going to go. And now there's something else we're missing off our websites and our social media. So again, that'll be interesting to see it. And just a little word of warning, I would look if you wanted to put a G, an S and a H in your electrical thing that somebody may have stamped all over your parade. And I would suggest maybe coming up with something slightly different. Yeah, it is one of them, yeah, RS Electrics is, you know, there's loads of them out there, isn't there?
Well, Ross James put an X on the end of his.
Did he?
Slight difference, but
okay, to try and get around it.
I think is that someone's going to remember to spell it that way.
Yeah, no, probably not.
It's always tough. Company names.
Yeah.
You don't know where the Proteus name comes from, do you? Who came up with that idea?
I genuinely don't know that, I'm afraid. So.
There you go. Just threw that one as a wild card.
Yeah, absolutely. So long help on that one. Yeah, so as long as it's being called Harry already on messages, yeah, you now don't know where the name came from.
Or maybe I do know and I just don't want to say, but no, I don't.
Okay, so we're gonna delve into second section, which is now looking at, Gordon.
Yeah, bi-directional RCDs.
Ooh, hot topic.
Which apparently has been a problem for a while, or a known for a while, because with generators and things like that, but. Now everyone's technically putting a generator in their home with a solar panel on the roof, and suddenly it's flared up, hasn't it?
It has.
So we just go through, obviously, traditionally what an RCBO, rather than using RCDs, we can use it as a generator, but we use the RCBO as that example with so many of them going into installations now, maybe followed in by a solar PV array. And we're so used to, is it unidirectional without realising it? So we come out of the bus bar through our RCBO and out to feed any of the circuits in a dwelling.
Correct.
If we keep a dwelling, does it make it nice and easy for people? That seems all right. So now all of a sudden, that electricity from my solar array could be coming back and feeding my bus bar in reverse. Right. Stickers all over it and isolators all in that area to warn people it's got two sources of supply at least. What's really the problem? It's only coming back the other. You know, electricity. It's going one way or another. Does it really matter?
It does, yeah. So on a unidirectional device, when the device disconnects, the circuitry inside can stay or remains energized if you are feeding from the top of the device.
Right.
So in a normal circumstance where you're feeding from the bottom, then the switch mechanism disconnects and it disconnects the supply to the PCB. Whereas on a bidirectional device, that totally disconnects the circuitry. So what we're trying to do is trying to mitigate against supply coming in the reverse direction and then protecting our circuitry from any overvoltage or damage.
It's National Apprenticeship Week. I've got a whiteboard over there. I don't quite understand what you told me there, but there looks like a drawing on the board. Shall we go over and see if we can investigate what you said in pictorial form? Now, over here, we've got a drawing.
Back here, Nick.
Yeah, back in my good old days. Look, I'm blissfully happy. I'm back out with the whiteboard pens. So what we've drawn here, then, is what is on the side of your bi-directional RCBO from Proteus, okay, but we haven't completed the drawing. You're going to show me how this drawing is actually more of the traditional unidirectional one and how it can fail this thing here. So this thing here is it our printed circuit board?
This is our integrated circuit on the device, a little microchip on there.
Okay, and this is our toroidal, I can't say it, toroidal.
Sensing coil?
Coil, okay, here, and I draw in and and we're going to go through. So, at the minute, obviously, we're so used for our electricity going out and our terminals say out, feeding our actual electrical circuit. But that means that when we've got a solar on, actually we're feeding in. Yes, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, talk me through where the problem is that can damage this chip or circuit board here.
So basically, if we're looking at this now, this is a unidirectional device. So supply comes in through the bottom of the device.
Yes.
Goes through our switch contact. So this is a double pole switching unit.
Yes.
So both our flying neutral lead comes in through a set of switch contacts here, and the live through there, and then out through the sensing coil and out through to our load.
Am I thinking this is the little flexi lead that goes onto my neutral bar, and this is the test button on the RCBO?
So that's our test button.
Yep.
So tapped off from the outgoing neutral, and we're picking it up here from the incoming live.
So we get an outer balance in the current, which senses in the coil, which causes it to trip.
That's it.
Everything we're used to, we've probably drawn that many times in different forms as students. Okay, still don't see any problems.
Yep.
Okay, so
what
now
happens now is we either press the test button.
Yep.
And that simulates an earth fault or an imbalance between our live and neutral. So the sensing coil detects that. The integrated circuit tells our solenoid to trip the device.
Absolutely.
Very quickly, and that disconnects, in this case, both phases. So our supply coming in now is immediately cut here, so power to our circuit is also cut.
Yes,
So
totally agree.
no trouble.
No trouble at all. But we've now got electricity coming back from our solar array.
Yeah.
Okay, same situation, it still will trip, won't it?
Yeah, it'll still trip. So what will happen is sensing coil will detect an imbalance again.
Yep.
So IC triggers, sets the solenoid off, disconnects live and neutral. The supply is still coming in, and we do have a path now because the integrated circuit is energized, and that will remain energized whilst it has.
Can I
power
plot
to it.
that? So you're telling me that we're coming, I know it's red, I apologise for old colours, I couldn't find a brown. So we're coming, are we coming
Across
down
there,
here?
yeah.
Oh, this, so you're going to make a circuit.
Keep going, yeah.
Yeah, and then we come down here.
Back there.
But again, we've only got one conductor, we'd need a neutral as well, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So let's look at the neutral. So I'm going to be a bit half and half. So that looks like that's the and that would be coming, that'd be connected as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'll be connected.
So if we come down there, okay. Okay, so we are tripped, but we are feeding that permanently.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so this here is now got, it wouldn't normally have anything on it, would it? It's been only done
it would
the
have disconnected.
and it will disconnect incredibly quickly.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, once it has tripped, this is now going to be energised the entire time?
Correct. Yep.
What's that going to do to whatever's in here, these components?
So basically we'll have power on that circuit, which will be triggering the solenoid, and it will burn out our solenoid.
So this bit's the bit that's in trouble.
Yep.
Okay, so this becomes a massive problem. We burn out our solenoid. So of course, when the customer comes back and turns that RCD back on, will it turn back on?
It will.
Sorry, I thought you said it will.
It will. Yeah, power will come back on. Power will be restored, and we're good to go again.
But that's now damaged effectively. So it will not now work as it's an MCB.
Just an MCB now.
How often do we press those test buttons? I'm a little bit worried. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So when I press the test button, I would realise it's failed, but we never do that.
No.
And we certainly don't every 6 months.
Correct.
And for one fault that could have sat there for hours while we were out, and we just come back and reset, we're happy as a customer, we've reset that, so that ain't great.
No.
Can we make an adjustment to this drawing to solve that problem?
Yeah, so with a bi-directional device, what we need to do now is we need to isolate our IC. Okay. So what we do is we introduce
a second, make it this 3-pole then effectively?
Yeah,
is that
effectively, yeah.
Right.
So
I'll try and do the best fingering I can. So if I put that in there, and I'm now linked these,
So we've now got a third switch which is interlinked with these two.
Okay.
So when we detect an earth fault or the test button is pressed, the IC triggers our solenoid.
Yep.
And all three disconnect.
So that would mean I've lost this one. So I've got rid of that one. Is that true?
That's correct.
So
and all the rest. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get rid of those as quickly as I can. So they disappear, meaning that no longer this is now powered and connected because it's only got one element by just breaking that one conductor, and we solve the problem. That seems, I don't want to say it's incredibly easy because not everyone's got one. That seems incredibly easy. Yeah, okay. And that's what we should be fitting if we're fitting anything that will feed back in reverse and generate a set, a wind turbine, etc.
Batteries, storage.
Okay. And there is a real massive risk of shock, isn't there, if you don't? Because then if we've burnt this out, we've got a problem.
Yeah, we've got no earth leakage protection then.
And that's on the side of the device. And again, you're looking now, we've looked at before when we were looking at single and double pole devices or switch neutral. We started looking on the side of devices. We're now looking for an extra brake now, aren't we?
Correct.
In order that we've got this bi-directional RCD rather than unidirectional. Do you think they'll get to a point where they actually label it? Because I think your one still says outgoing terminals, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has. We've got some work being put on our website at the moment with that. So there'll be a label that will identify bidirectional devices directly. So whether it be an RCD, an RCBO, or an AFDD, be easily identifiable as bidirectional.
Across the brand, all the elements of the brand.
For our brand,
okay,
so.
that's fantastic. So again, they're out there. You've got to search out devices. If you're installing those systems, you are responsible for what you're installing, and there's no, oh well, I didn't know moment at this stage. You're engineering and installing, say, a solar PV installation, and you happen to choose a device for also earth leakage. It's your responsibility. One of the other things they do say, and this is going to be a bit of kick in the shin to you, if you can't do that, is to engineer it to an MCB, isn't it? To get rid of the other bits. That can be incredibly difficult to, at times to do, to actually leave that cable on the surface. Okay, that is really interesting. Cool. Thank you very much. Just go back, Kieran. So wander back. Thank you also to Jenny that did my camera work for me there. I think it might be one of those things that if you're going to watch this back again, you might want to go back to that and just have another think. Just leave yourself a little bit of a time. It is on the side.
No, it is.
You haven't got your new you haven't got your glasses, have you, Gordon? Because I struggle like mad.
No, I can still see that actually. But,
just take the hand cam back. Yeah, that's fine.
Glasses will be making an appearance in a few weeks' time.
They will.
So you can see it on the side.
I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So that's that drawing that I attempted to draw.
Yeah.
And we can
I
clearly
bet you
see.
had some help doing that, Gary.
No, he didn't. Did I have any help, Kieran?
No, not at all, to be fair. He did it all by himself.
Right.
So.
Kept between the lines for once.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a good week with colleges and whiteboards.
So I think I all learned something there. So I didn't realise that was the problem, that it actually burns out the solenoid inside.
Yeah.
And it makes sense when you...
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some additional supporting information. So, and I think you put the links on there previously from BEAMA. So there's some guidance from BEAMA on unidirectional, bidirectional as well. So feel free to download that.
Yeah. And this is like the EV and all the rest of the problems we have with the earth electrodes in, earth electrodes out. What we're going to do about PEM faults and the rest of it. But you can see now that these two link, isn't it? You've got to keep up with innovation, or at least be within a step of it. Yet, devices, people who installed all that. The solar's been out for a long time, hasn't it? Residential solar, especially.
I was already asked if you've got a bi-directional, has to be in your plant room, Gary, that has a basin and toilet in there.
What if I told you I've now got an MCB on the circuit? Would they feel a lot better?
How did you engineer that in then?
There's that much above my consuming. It's the only bit that's in the fabric of the building.
Right.
Never plastered it over.
Right.
I'm going to put a shield over the front of it, so it's still going to be on the surface.
What happens? Where does it go from there?
Under the floor.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah. And then it's in a wood stud greater than 50 mil for the last bit, so I can get away with it.
I'd call that luck.
I'd call that a very whammocky wall that I hung it on. But yeah, they're dead right. So it was, we're living this dream with you folks. So I don't expect to be right every time. I'm never going to be right every time. Please don't quote that again, no. So I'm never going to be right every time. So of course, there's bits that we're learning as we're going. I was straight away. I went, is mine? No. All right. Wow. What am I going to do? Change the entire board for that? I've got to come up with another solution.
The devices have been around for some decades. I think it's just what the topics have brought it to the light.
Yeah, but it catches you out because we have a distribution board here from a large French manufacturer with a German-sounding name, and I don't actually think we can't get double pole.
Yeah.
For one, in the devices we've got in there, and they're certainly not bi-directional.
No.
And that's caught us out. So technically. Well, it'll be burned out next week anyway, so we'll have to replace it anyway. So we'll get around to that.
Yeah, so we are not the oracles of everything right, are we? We are living this dream with other people, and we're trying to get it right as we go through as well, and highlight the bits that we find as we get through.
Now, obviously, we've got three-phase. We're about to put in a three-phase inverter, so we've got a bigger problem. A bigger problem coming. Do you do a three-phase version?
We do a three-phase RCBO.
Yeah.
3-module, 4-pole switching. Unfortunately, at this moment, it's not bi-directional. So that's something that we're working on in the background at the moment. So,
but that's a problem. Yeah.
Well, for a problem for solar PV.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. But it's good that you're working on it. Actually, you've identified a problem and getting on with it. And we've got a three-phase board here, haven't we? It's got the RCBO in.
Okay, we'll have a look. Yeah, I'm going to open that up and have a look. Cheers, Kieran.
So this is our ABX range of switchgear. So this is a three-phase distribution board. More of a consumer unit style, really, rather than the bigger three-phase Type B distribution type. So this particular unit has a 4-pole incomer. We've then got our 3-module 4-pole. We've got an MCB variant first, so without the test button. We've then got the RCBO variant of that, all Type A, 10K rated. We've then got some single module but double pole MCBs. And then we've got the double pole, bi-directional RCBOs, single module there.
Yeah, double pole again. People, our friends on the continent can't believe that our devices with our consumer unit aren't double pole as standard.
Yeah.
No, so
we've moved just to double pole as standard now, certainly on single phase RCBOs, so all our devices going forward are all double pole switching now.
Yeah,
and I like this product because I spotted it on for a while, and I was thinking as we went down to one of the first three-phase housing estates, which had an enormously over-engineered circuit protection in there, that for most projects that'd be actually pretty good for a.
Yeah.
There's not many people do three-phase in that format. They're all
yeah, and that came about because we had a very well-known sort of holiday park company in the UK, and they wanted their lodges with a three-phase distribution, but they didn't want it looking like a Type B distribution board, you know, hung on the wall. So they wanted more of a consumer unit style. So we came up with that as an option for them, and it's been introduced as a standard product, which actually quite a lot of our products have ended up like that. So we do specials for certain people, and before you know it, it becomes a standard product for us.
All right, okay.
You can check out, Gary. You go to those lodges quite often.
I love a lodge. I do love a lodge, I must admit. And I look every time, and there's no word of a lie, I go every time into, we call it the understairs cupboard. There's no stairs because they're single-storey buildings, but I go in there where the ironing board is and spare stuff. Always look at the consumer unit.
Right.
And I'm going to now pay. I've opened them up. I've taken photographs. I'm either not paying attention or whatever. I'm going to, next time I'm now spot and see the three-phase element of it.
Well, look,
yeah, I will do, because I'm obviously, don't say it. Yeah, I'm obviously not paying full attention maybe at that moment in time. So probably because I'm trying to find the toilet.
Maybe you're in a cheaper lodge.
Yeah. I ain't got butler service, let's put it that way. So only 4 of them have. No, so yeah, but that links nicely in, doesn't it, with BEAMA in some ways. Let's say one of the people on the committee were pushing for all of those devices to be double pole. As they got through as a collective, they might push that through, might they? Say that all RCBOs from this point forward are all now going to be manufactured.
If those sorts of ideas, it's all justification by safety and that. And again, from a BEAMA perspective, if we can get consensus on that, that will be something that they may wish to drive forward. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that makes logical sense. Yeah, it's good. It's interesting, isn't it? See that innovation's our problem, isn't it? Because safety sometimes lags innovation, doesn't it? That's the problem. Like I said, my next door neighbour's had his solar array for 15 years on my old consumer unit that I used to have. There's no chance that his devices are anything like we've suggested. Yeah, I've put a brand new board in, and mine isn't either. So you think, wow, and
What do you think? I think probably the boom of solar PV installs was probably about 15, 16 years ago. That's sort of 2008, 2009.
That's when he had his
feed-in tariff and everything. So everybody was going after it. But yeah, there's a real question mark now about actually how many people have gone back and looked at those installations. How many people have looked at the RCDs and thought, have they tripped? Have they been reset and not pressed the test button? So begs the question, then, do we need to look at the devices? Do we need to retrospectively go back to those and upgrade the devices? So that could be another challenge. So
I think we're worrying all the wrong things, because clearly the installation will have been tested every 10 years. Because they all are, everyone knows that. And everyone
15 years in my house.
And everyone pushes the test button every quarter. Or is it monthly now?
6 months now.
6 months now.
Pushing every quarter was just a bit too much, so we extended it to...
I love the way they did that. I used to say to my students, we didn't used to press it quarterly, now we're not going to press it every half year. Yeah, so it changed an exam question, and the stickers all became out of date. And now we don't need the stickers, or do we need the stickers, or do we leave them in a pack with the customer with the stickers? And which stickers do we need? Well, we certainly need the sticker that says it's dual source of supply, because we can't leave that in a packet, can we? So yeah, it all becomes a bit of a fudge, doesn't it? Interesting.
It is.
Are we getting to that time where we've got the world's best RCDs tool time? We can come back.
Well, we have. There's some good questions coming in. Mark Allison's batting some of them away straight away. We already had the one. Is it double pole or single pole and switch neutral? Yeah. Well, it's is he right? It satisfies the need of the S7671. So that's. I think we can cut across the RCDs tool.
Well, you have a look at those questions. This is brilliant.
RCDs tool time. Hello, welcome to RCDs tool time. XLPE installation, which you find on steel wire armoured cable and low smoke versions of Twin and Earth, can be really difficult to strip, especially at this time of year when it's freezing outside. However, we think we've found a great tool to help you out. So let's dive in and take a look at the Rickomatic wire stripper. Here we have a wire stripper which fits in a drill or electric screwdriver such as a Bosch Go. It's designed to strip fixed wire cross section of 6mm squared conductors. But don't worry, you can also buy versions for 2.5 and 4mm conductors. It's quite easy to operate. Push the conductor into the end of the stripper, press the trigger on the drill or screwdriver and bingo, the insulation is gone, leaving an immaculate end. Compare this to results you get using automatic wire strippers or using the other electrician's favourite, croppers. The tool has an adjustable depth stop allowing adjustments in 3mm steps for strip lengths between 10mm and 40mm. A word of warning, don't stop as soon as the tool reaches the depth stop. If you leave it running, you may start twisting the conductors and that could lead to Ryan Davis Electrical making an unexpected appearance on your screen.
Yeah, this will be wrong as well. Just twisting it a fancier way. No, it's wrong!
A few other tips. Make sure the conductor end is nice and straight. The cable is round and not oval. There is a symbol on the side of the box that depicts something, but I'm not sure what it is, so let me know what you think it is in the comments. According to the description on the packaging, this tool will make you a better person, improving efficiency and quality. The tool comes with a handy storage box and an Allen key to change the blade. We don't know at this stage if you can get replacement blades though. Although it's not faster than a pair of wire strippers, we think a few extra seconds is worth it for the neat result, which allows you to strip with precision so you don't end up leaving exposed copper from a raggy end. The Rickomatic also works well on regular PVC cable. We think this is a useful tool for EV installers who are battling with 6mm XLPE conductors on a daily basis. We've tried it out on a recent install in freezing conditions and it worked a dream. Yes, you're right, we shouldn't really be installing cables below zero, but we kept this drum nice and toasty inside and rushed it out like a Formula 1 team to fix it to the wall while it was still warm. That didn't stop the end from freezing like my fingers. The 2.5mm and 4mm versions will be useful for electricians working on properties wired in low smoke twin and earth. If you're using a Doncaster version, you can easily strip the outer sheath. For other cables, the team at Rickomatic are still working on that. So where can you get a hold of the Rickomatic wire stripper? Well, we've signed an exclusive deal with Temu. The online retail offers free delivery and a variety of other items you never knew you needed. I'll leave a link in the description. You might be surprised at the price compared to some of these. So let me know what you think. Is it great or is it a gimmick? Get your votes in, but till then, I'll see you on the flip side. Ta-da.
Well, if you haven't given a comment already, I'd imagine you're in now banging in a few comments. Well, I think it's brilliant. We're going to get it down from the tool from above, and I know you've been looking forward to this, Kieran. You said, please make sure I sit under the tool from above, because I've been practicing my coup of the word tool in order to get it down. And of course, you were devastated, weren't you?
Absolutely devastated, yeah.
You know, he rushed in, put his bag down. It felt like you were at school when it had, I want to sit here. It's your moment.
The elbows come out.
Yes. Here we go. Here we go. So we're going to come down and we're going to have to kneel because both of us are very tall. So down we go, Kieran. Okay. So I'm going to put a little arm around you. We're 6'4" and a bit. Yeah. So we're going to raise up our hands and together, you know, using what's left of our dignity, we're going to summon down the tool from above with the following call. You're going to do it for me now. Did anyone hear that? Did anyone? I think two dogs are barking next door. They may have heard it. Nobody else has heard that. So I need a little bit more enthusiasm. Imagine we're trying to summon down the tool from above. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So big fella. Here we go. Here we go. I'll help you out this time. Ready? Okay. That was better, wasn't it?
You're very good.
I've had a lot of practice. I have to do this every fortnight. Yeah, okay. But I'm not here next time, so I want to see G-Dog do it. Ready? And again. Here we go. Here we go. G-Dog next time. Here we go. Yes. Okay, so you get to hold on to that while I retrieve this, and then I think we're going to send it back up, Nick. So it's just going to be a bit noisy in this bit, so we'll let it go back up. And For those who didn't watch all the show and knew where to sit, obviously, you know, we've now got the tool wall. And just explain the rules. I can't get it down. I don't know whether I've shrunk since I was last up here, but we've got in the top left-hand corner, which isn't 0. 0 is actually behind Nick. So we go from 0 all the way to the other corner, which is 11, which is where the tool is absolutely outstanding. And you can see a lot of our previous guests have been very complimentary and got in the 6s, 7s and 8s region. It's up to you. So it's obviously a reasonably priced tool. It does strip cross-link polyethylene, which is an absolute nightmare for any electrician to strip, especially if it's cold. And obviously is a tool that goes on a power tool, which again ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. I'm not trying to sway your judgment here.
No, the audience, they're on the gimmick front. There you go.
Oh, are they? It's absolute gimmick.
Did we see it? We were using it earlier on, weren't we?
We were. We watched it. We didn't use it.
Did we think it was good?
Oh, it was good. I think from a RSI point of view, if it works.
I think it's great. I mean, I've given up with everything.
But I don't want to sway your choice. Okay,
No,
you've been great sport today. So I've had to ask you to put your collars down as well, and I asked you to do the buttons up as well. Yeah, it was getting a bit embarrassing.
Hold on.
Hang on, whoa, what's going on?
There's the drill and kit. No, he hasn't.
Rick hasn't left it with us, so we can't do a demo. Oh, I can't believe it. Would you like to put it on the board before we lose the audience for people who are boards?
Essentially for that, I think this is a great little device.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, look at that. It wasn't swayed at all by my... Well done, thank you, Kieran. I think it's great as well. Right up there for the price from a well-known online retailer that is across the pond that takes about 6 days to arrive. And if they don't arrive at the time they say it's going to arrive, they give you a £5 voucher. That's according to Rick.
I've got another voucher.
OK, we got the drill? We're going to be able to do this?
No, he's got the impact drive. I daren't try it with the impact drive.
No. Well, we lost the drill then. So we can't even demonstrate it.
This is Rick's only fake messages.
This is a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
We've got R. Davis on as well.
Are we? What's this? Yeah, can do. See if you can find for the drill. R. Davis is on. Thank you, Ryan, for being part of the show. We thank you for that. It was, and I think quite justified as well. We tried to get in front of that storm. Oh no, they're at it now. eFIXX are doing it. Look at this rubbish. It's great. It's very tactile as well. I haven't played with it. Okay, different colours for different sizes. Is that the idea, G-Dog?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I noticed they're all branded at the Rick-O-Matic.
Oh, I couldn't find it. We just got onto. We don't know who actually makes them, but
we don't know who makes them.
No.
Oh right. Okay, they weren't branded.
No.
Oh, right, OK, so that's good. Well, we're waiting for a drill. We're waiting for a drill. That cable, is that the right size to be used?
It's 6mm.
6mm, fine, OK. Do you know which one's a 6mm? We've got a drill by the looks of things. This is live TV at its very best, isn't it, that we haven't got a clue. Which one's 6? Is it red?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I'll put it on hammer action for you. That's what we all do at this stage, don't we? How many people, every time Rick does it, we start a video and he puts it, he's on hammer action.
Fits the impact driver.
Does it fit the impact driver? Right, OK. So hang on, I need hand cam. Let's bring hand cam in. We're in. Hang on, G-Dog, slow down.
Ready?
Strip for me. Oh.
Look at that. You like that?
I love it. Absolutely love it. We're going to have to cut it off if you want to do another one, yeah.
So need the croppers now.
Dear, we've had a disaster week. You don't get this with Holly. My wife met Stephen Mulhern last weekend. She went to Dancing on Ice, and he is a lovely bloke as well, by all accounts.
The depth gain's a bit bigger here. There you go.
That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, wonderful.
Like
yeah, so
did
do
it
I.
go on the end? I was distracted there.
It's right at the top. Oh, it's right at the top.
Oh, wow.
Good choice. I mean, like you said, on those cold days, it was snowing when you did that EV charger, wasn't it, the last one?
XLP is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just people have to try. I mean, it's like 10 quid.
Sorry, you said 10 quid.
Yeah.
How much is it? 10 quid. What, for one?
For one.
It's worth having for a tenner, isn't it?
It's worth it.
Yeah. And they look great. They're so tactile as well. They look like the sort of stuff when you sort of go to a snap-on toolbox in a garage, don't they? Sort of lay there and you think, I'd like to own those. What are they? And you think, oh, yeah, they're nice. Yeah, shiny metal. Yeah. But we don't get snap-on toolboxes, so we wouldn't know.
No.
We don't want to mention tool bags. OK, we're not going near tool bags. We're avoiding tool bags at the moment. We understand tool bags. OK.
Yeah. And actually, no, we're not sponsored by Toooooooool. We're just we've got a challenge coming up actually where we actually spent £100 on Temu.
Okay.
And this was just one of the things we got
for the 100 quid.
Yeah.
So there should be some other gems in that bag, shouldn't there?
There's some. Yeah, I'm sure some of it's absolute stuff you might not want to buy yourself, but there's some. Yeah.
It must have been a challenge.
Yeah, no.
Spending £100 on
it was, and I've got loads of vouchers.
Come on a 48-foot pallet truck. Yeah, it's like unbelievably large pile of stuff.
Yeah.
But Rick's a massive fan of it. You know what I mean? If you're looking to, we're talking National Apprenticeship Week, and you're trying to build your first toolkit, it can be challenging to get obviously those branded items, but you can find very similarly moulded items for considerably less money. And I don't want to name these tools, but there is some, and Rick's been trialling a few of them in his own tool bag, and he thinks they're amazing value for money.
Yeah.
It's just, there is some,
I wouldn't scrimp on certain tools, I think, insulated cutters and stuff like that.
No. We are going to visit VDE stuff later in the year. And I bought, I have bought some VDE tools on team, and we'll see what they're like. But yeah,
I didn't know. I don't know what he's bought. That's the only tool I know he's bought.
Oh,
so
yeah,
when he said I've got a bag of tools, I've got no idea. Yeah, he won't bring them in.
Got to drip feed them out here.
Cable caster wasn't from there though, was it? The other week with the gun with the string. So that's all good. Right. Any questions that jump out of us as a team? We've obviously had bits and bobs coming through on the board. What have we got done through there? Any questions?
Some, interesting ones there. So,
anyone want to know what type of port they drink down at the BEAMA Club? Whether they're Cuban cigars, that type of stuff.
Single malt whiskey only, I'm afraid.
You have to have leather elbow patches on your corduroy jacket.
Yeah, loads of comments on, I say double pole. Is it double pole or single pole and switch neutral? How do you describe it? Is that a...
Yeah. Well,
you have to push you for an answer.
I think we always say, we just say double pole.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there'll be others who will say double pole and switch neutral. We're happy to go with either. So.
Yeah. But in the event of a fault, it isolates both poles.
Both poles.
Yeah. Which is neutral phase.
Yes. And you don't need a current sensing in both poles, do you, to do it?
No.
So that's the. We did actually look. We did a video that actually explained when you do need a double pole device. That was, it's buried in the mists of time, actually.
That is. That's buried in the mist of my memory as well. So, we're over 1,000 videos in now, Gordon, so even I'm going to struggle occasionally.
I'll put it in the community tab at some point in the next week.
Yeah, just so people can revisit that. As soon as it disconnects, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, that's fine. But again, if electricians can get a terminology and jump in, they're in, so that's fine,
But I think it was interesting before this, you obviously... The three-phase one, I thought, well, what's going to be the problem in three-phase? Obviously, vehicle-to-grid charging's coming along.
Yeah.
And suddenly all those EV chargers could be feeding power back the other way.
So
that ever happens?
Yeah.
Oh, really? So all that. We took half a step forward and 3 back all the time, don't we? You're right, isn't it? And that's where we're going. Surely that's where we're going if we want that green.
That's going to cause it. I've just thought, not just the three-phase, on the single-phase. I've been to an installation where one of the trials took place for that, actually.
Right, okay.
I'm now going to go back home and look through my footage to see what consumer unit was in there.
Well, yeah.
So predominantly on the bigger three-phase stuff, where we do the big three-phase distribution units for EV charging points then. So that scenario would be built up with sort of a molded case circuit breaker with CT feed-in, fed by an earth leakage relay.
Yes.
Which then obviously triggers the device. So in that scenario, bi-directional is not an issue.
Yeah.
Because there's no risk there. So, but even on sort of smaller three-phase where you can use an RCD MCB configuration, in that scenario we've got obviously bi-directional with the 4-pole RCD, but not currently in our 3-module 4-pole device.
I think if electricians go into site and they're not sure what that device is, what's in there, they're having a look at, have a read through the BEAMA guidance. There's pretty good guidance there, and at the end we always say, if you're not sure, phone the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Give them the information, they'll be able to feed back to you direct.
We're trying to make it quite clear on the website, so there's a whole process going through in the background at the moment with the website, so images and the products will all have bi-directional symbols on them. So hopefully it'll be pretty clear.
The standard's quite clear in what marking should and shouldn't be on there, so, and like I say,
And I think it just reiterates to everyone, especially watches this, they probably use it as part of the CPD as well, how important it is in this rapidly changing industry of ours. It probably stayed stagnant for 30 years where not a lot of innovation. Innovation's coming every other week, isn't it, nowadays? You must stay up to date with that in order that you can install wiring systems that are absolutely safe, that you can trust. We guarantee all our work as it goes in. Well, let's guarantee work that we're really comfortable with. And I'm sure we're going to tackle some of these subjects on our CPDs. We're currently working on several ones at the moment, aren't we, that are due to come out to help people in these type of challenging environments wherever they are. And this will be another one that we'll be burying into.
But it's always, it is constant change at the moment. It feels like constant change, or there's stuff, it's buried deep in the regulations, but has now just been applied in.
I think it's exciting now. I think the next 5 to 10 years, the electrification of the UK, it's an exciting time for our sector.
Exciting is another word for cash. Yeah, there'll be plenty of money going out. If it's just got excited, folks, you're going to make a few quid, but you don't want all them callbacks, do you? So
no.
You want to put it in right.
When I joined Proteus, we were sort of 2006. We had the old, what we call the 16th edition split load, main switch, MCBs, RCD, and of course then when we went to the 17th edition and we added in that extra RCD to a dual RCD split load board, I think there was a bit of uproar about that, because boards went from X amount, and you add in an extra RCD. But of course nowadays we're seeing more and more boards now. It's just main switch RCBOs with surge protection. So I think the value of a split load consumer back in I know it was 15 years ago, but it was extremely low, probably too low really. But nowadays, obviously, with the advent of RCBOs and then being used more prevalently, across the industry, we're certainly seeing the growth of those and the demise of MCBs.
It's the beating heart of your property or business, and we don't think nothing of spending £4,000 on a telly. We want to spend 75 quid on a consumer unit. It's going to be there way past the 3 tellies that have gone in the property at the same time. Absolute madness. And just shows you got, and again, you haven't got to necessarily fall in love with that consumer unit, because you are developing your wiring system within your business or your home. You might have to find it's going to have to be upgraded and changed quicker than you think, because technology's gone faster than you expected. It's just the way of the world, isn't it? It's like, how many people have got a big fat telly at home that only got an aerial on it? So we went to Sky, now we stream. What's next? And it's like, we all move with those changes as quickly as we can.
Certainly do.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Now, just before we go, because we're coming to time, you've got some wiring accessories here as well. The sockets are BS30.
We brought them, so around about nearly 12 months ago now, we did a whole sort of rebranding exercise with the M2 brand, and we've got 8 ranges under that, so slimline and square, sort of white moulded wiring accessories. We do a range of metal clad, a couple of ranges of decorative, both screwed and screwless, but more recently we've added in the new decorative colours. These have got the little protective sleeves on them.
Because I wouldn't let you take them off, no.
But
told you. These will be donated to a college, because I've ripped them out of his hands. He's not getting them back.
That's fine. But it's gone down exceptionally well, and we've...
Where's the old brass rope edge? It doesn't seem to be here. That sort of whiff of 83.
That wasn't in the...
It's a classic. It's an
right, Gary, I took some out of my father-in-law's house. You can have them.
Oh, let me have them. let me get them along with me Toby jugs.
So did M2, did that used to be RPP, was it?
It was, originally it was RPP, but there was a bit of a disconnect with regards to the number of brands that we had. So the decision was made by the whole sort of senior management team, I guess, to rationalise that and get one brand across the whole range. So it's now under the M2 brand.
Right. And was RPP, was that Redditch plastic products? There you go. That's how spotty I am. There you go.
And that was, that's where
friends.
But that's where I started. Back in 1997, I was a design office trainee at that time, and lucky enough to be offered a position to work there full time. So.
Did they come? You have Reds double sockets and things like that back in the day.
Yeah, well, we had it used to be called a rainbow range, and you literally had. I mean, Darren would be, if Darren Cranis is still on, he'd be asking for a pink one.
He is still on.
Christ. So we don't do it now.
It's demanding, not asking.
That's not him now.
No, it can't be, because they're delayed slightly.
Yeah. Okay. So so we used to do the rainbow range. So there was the red, crikey, green, brown, yellow, blue. There was a whole host of different colours, and of course, when you were manufacturing there in Redditch, somebody said, can you do something for us? Can you do this? Can you think? We were the company at the time that would say yes usually. So we had a very good material supplier. They would come along and they gave a small bag of material. We'd be able to compression mold that and produce small batches. So it was rightly or wrongly, it was. That's what we did, but got us in a sticky situation maybe once or twice. But we don't do that so much now.
Yeah, but there you go. Darren says he wants a pink one. There you go.
He'd be on.
But they've got a good feel to it, actually. We've already homed in on this double USB. Can we open this, actually?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there you go. I've claimed it now.
I do this, whenever I get anything new, they come in wearing it, or they've opened it. It's like, I've bagged that for myself, and you had to open it, didn't you? I do it every time. It just winds me up. It's like, your new jumpers are coming and I'm wearing it. You know, I had a darts t-shirt, Gary Super Tube Hayers was on the back. They walk in wearing it. Yeah. It's a Scottish thing, Super Tube, isn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's nice. That's good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's kitchen bound, that is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Whose kitchen?
Mine.
Is it?
Yeah, I bagged it before you.
Right,
I've been nothing but nothing but a gentleman to Kieran. I haven't ripped into him once today. I let him put his collars up and pretend he was obviously Harry Hill. I was, you didn't want him to do it, and I said, go on, you do it if you want to do it. Yeah, Kieran. Yeah, lean into it at every opportunity. It's good. Now, so while you're fiddling with that, register. Now we're going to do something different.
Yes,
we're going to do something different with the register. So what we've done today is we've collated everybody's name. Okay, from the register, and we're going to put it into an AI generator ready for next time out. So our AI generated character can read out the register. So I know I've sort of hoodwinked everyone to get their names and want as many as we can in there, just so we can do that. It gives us a fortnight to do that, and we've got WeQuote on, haven't we, next time when we're back in. So we've got those in. So we'll have an AI presenter do the register, and we're going to trial that out. So that'll be our new thing to do in a fortnight. And I take it because I'm not here, will AI presenter be sitting in this chair? Will it to replace me as well? Is that where we're going? It
could be, or we might ask Joe 3PR to pop in for that one.
Yeah, so that's the one. I think that's what's going to happen. We'll break it to you now, Joe. We probably want you to stay over a night as well, and stay over a night and maybe do that video if we get the flying carpet in and stuff like that. Now, when we talk about people not being here, obviously Joe 3PO isn't here, and obviously our resident college learner at the moment, he looks like, is that stringing pasta out? Is that the start of a spaghetti or something like that?
He looks pretty angry though.
He always looks angry, does Rick? Yeah. He's skipping. He's never skipped in his life. Well, hang on. No. He's skipped into the chippy. He's skipped into Greg's. Yeah. He's done all of that. And it's chippy day tomorrow for two of us. Two of the team are on diets, and it's not me. So I will be having fish and chips tomorrow with Rick. But you're not having any, Gordon? Because you're on a little cheeky diet, aren't you? You want to talk about your diet for 30 seconds?
Well, I've got another 6 weeks to go.
You have, yes. Yeah. So you've been living on fresh air, haven't you?
No. It's a strict.
And how much have you lost?
I've lost a stone so far.
Yeah, and you didn't have it to lose, I didn't think.
Yeah.
So
I'll see.
Well done.
Challenging week next week because I'm away. So I'll navigate my way around numerous Italian pizzas and not eat them.
Oh, that's a toughie.
But, yeah.
And again, they say the older you are, the harder it is to get off. So to get a stone off at your age is an absolute winner, I would suggest.
There you go.
Winner. I'm having fish and chips tomorrow and hopefully eating in front of you. However, we've had some amazing guests in the past, and I would put this up there, right up there in my top list of people that we've had on. And Kieran, I thank you ever so much for being such a fantastic sport today and taking all my banter. I expect never to hear from you again. So that's really nice. Yeah. And you can
nice knowing you.
Yeah, absolutely. And to get an insight, Nick, into BEAMA, fantastic. And we've met briefly before, and I think at that time we said we should do something, so it was nice to walk in today and see you standing there. So it's been fantastic.
Great to be here. Thank you very much.
You didn't win, by the way. So you weren't very quick, were you? So.
No, I wasn't. I'm on that board, not that board.
Oh, yeah, which is okay. Yeah, absolutely.
I may eventually slip off that board onto that.
You beat Barry, though. You beat Barry. Yeah, as long as you beat Barry, we're all good. Anything about next week's? Because 2 weeks' time, anything you want to signpost for people? Because I won't be here. I'll be watching from afar.
All right, where are you going?
No way. I'll be at home. All right, which is afar, because I'm 175 miles south, if I haven't mentioned it, from our studios that I come to every week. So, it's been good. I'd like to just people who stay on for this bit, great. Yeah, we've almost concluded the story. We've had a great week today. We've had a great week this week for eFIXX College Connections. We got out on Monday and Tuesday a part of a National Apprenticeship Week. I went to Holbeach, and I've been to West Suffolk College as well. Both outstanding. I mean, I've been to a lot of colleges and met some great people along the way. And I had an outstanding Monday and an amazing Tuesday with those people. And it was quite ironic because West Suffolk College actually got nominated for eFIXX College of the Year. And they reminded me I'm not on that judging panel. And they actually got into the final 3 on that. So they were immensely proud of that. So, and when you go there, and they must have done such an amazing submission to see them, you think, whoever chose them in the top 3 deserved to be there. So, hats off to them. And all the people out there making a fantastic job. I spoke to a lot of people trying to get jobs in our industry and gave some top tips and things like that. So it's been an incredible week. And then we get to live stream on a Wednesday with great guests. It's been my perfect eFIXX week, I would suggest. So it'll only go downhill tomorrow. Fish and chips will be off, won't they? and get them. Fish will be on the turn when it'll have a dodgy stomach on the way home. Yeah, all the rest.
We hope
of it.
so.
Yeah. Almost on that bombshell, I would suggest. We'd like to thank our guests this evening. We'd like to thank our guest Kieran from Proteus for joining us today and being the lead sponsor of the show. We'd like to thank that, and as well as BEAMA. Yeah, for coming in, Nick. So thank you. And I didn't call you Neil once, did I? Not once did I call you. And I've tried. So every time I look at you, I'm thinking of your name because, as always, I mess the names up in the day. Okay. So we're going to be back in a fortnight. Well, I won't be. So I'll be replaced hopefully by 3PO.